Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is November 3rd, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. I've got air mass characteristics overlaid. You can see kind of the warmer air here, the tropical air, this high pressure here out over the Pacific Ocean. But if you look back here, that cooler air aloft, and this is our developing mid-latitude cyclone. It is right here, and it's going to be riding over the top of this ridge, and it is going to be right down into western BC and casting a pretty powerful pressure gradient with it as it passes by. Strong frontal system, some big waves, mountain snows. We'll go over all those details here as we go through the video this morning. But yeah, you can imagine this high pressure here and the low, the corresponding low, and that's like gears in a machine here, and just going to bring this powerful storm into British Columbia there. So always fun to look at the infrared satellite imagery. And if you guys want my daily updates here, I am on Bluesky right now. It's a lot less political and a lot less ads and whatnot. And a lot of weather weenies have come over here as well. So I am over here doing my updates. Some interesting stuff across the Puget Sound this morning. Some sharp updrafts there and a little bit of southerlies at the surface with northwest flow aloft. I've seen sharp funnel clouds in setups like this. I had the drone up for about 40 minutes this morning. And yeah, kind of interesting skies out there. I'm going to go through and speed things up and see if I can see any apparent rotation in some of that activity. But anyway, taking a look at Seattle yesterday, 53 degrees, 55 is the average high for this time of year. And we're off to a pretty decent start as far as precipitation is concerned, already up towards 3/4 of an inch. And November is a rainy month. 6.3 is the average. And check out some of the average each day. We're up over 0.2 of an inch on average there. So interesting stuff. Now taking a look at the European. So you can kind of see that ridging of high pressure here. Washington is off to the right. There's Alaska to the top left of the screen. If I put this into motion, you can see this cold air aloft at about 500 millibars, which is at about 18,000 feet up in the atmosphere, move across the Pacific Northwest, and there is our storm system right there as it comes through. A pretty rapid moving system, nice westerly surge behind it. And also going to have a pretty strong southerly surge in front of this. We're going to go over some of these wind speeds for some of the areas here in a moment. Now, taking a look at how the heights correspond here to the temperatures aloft, again, 500 millibars there. You can kind of see the ridging hanging out. Then look at that shortwave just rip through the area with its powerful pressure gradient. This is going to be on the day Monday again, and then we're going to bring that system through here, and then we'll take a look at the extended forecast towards the end of the video, so stick with me on that. And now taking a look at about 925 millibars. This is about 2,500 feet up in the atmosphere, and again, you can see the ridging down here, and you can see our developing mid-latitude cyclone out across the Pacific Ocean, and there it goes, just burrowing into Haida Gwaii, western BC, and you can see the strong winds arrive, initially southerlies or southeasterlies across some of the Salish Sea and Strait of Georgia, and then we start to bring that westerly surge, which is going to bring some very strong winds to the east slopes, the Cascades of Washington down into Oregon, eastern Washington as well. There's some high wind warnings up for that, for those areas right now. Also, we'll take a look at some of those wind speeds here in a moment. You can see a big surge down the Strait of Wanapauka, and some big waves are going to be brought in with this also. So if we take a look at the timing of some of these winds, this is 100-meter wind speed, so not far from the surface. This is a knot, so we'll put this into motion. You can see a bit of westerly winds going on down the Strait of Wanapauka right now and on the Washington coast. Put that into motion, and you see the arrival of this system. Check it out. It starts getting pretty windy through the Puget Sound, down towards Olympia, Tacoma, Seattle, through the northwest interior. Southeast winds, southerly winds in advance of the system here. Gusty southerly winds on Monday morning for the Oregon and the Washington coast. Then look at that wind shift start to occur as we go through Monday late morning. Look at that. You're switching to northwest here along the Washington coast, still southerly across the Puget Sound, still out of the southeast across a lot of the northwest interior. Then look at that westerly surge, and we start to move into Monday afternoon down the Strait of Wanapauka, Salish Sea, Strait of Georgia, east slopes of the Cascades of Washington and Oregon. Some big winds incoming here as we go through Monday afternoon and Monday night. With that frontal system, it is a quick moving one as well. So taking a look, you can see what we're going to be dealing with over the next 60 hours. Some residual showers out there this morning, and as we go through the day today, we get a bit of a break, and then we wait for that next system as we go through very early Monday morning. You can see the precipitation starting up across Vancouver Island, western BC. Frontal system just comes absolutely charging down across the areas we go through a Monday late morning, and then you can see it pushing off the eastern portions. You can also see kind of the rain shadowing effect there east of the Cascades as well, but the frontal system, again, is a quick moving one, and it's going to be all the way out across Montana by the time we get towards Monday night. Now, taking a look at Seattle, Tacoma, you can see we have the winter weather advisories up. We have high wind watches right now for portions. I might have said warnings earlier. Those are high wind watches right now. In fact, let me update that and see if they've updated it. No, they haven't. But we have winter storm warnings as well. You can see for the central Cascades of King County up through Snohomish, Skagit, Whatcom County. And we also have the beach hazard statements for the big surf and the big waves out on the coastline. The reason why this cuts off right here is because Portland National Weather Service does all the way up towards, Long Beach here and Cape Disappointment, but the Seattle National Weather Service does it here. But I would just kind of bake that into your head that the beach hazard statement should extend up the Washington coast as well. And you can see some winter weather advisories elsewhere. And if we take a look at that, the high wind watch for some of the east slopes of the Cascades, check it out, Eastern Columbia River Gorge of Oregon and Washington, Kittitas Valley, and some of the highlands out there through a late Monday night. Check out some of these gusts up towards 65 miles per hour are possible. So if you are in a wind-prone location for those westerlies, be prepared. And this is looking at the winter weather advisory and the winter storm watch that is in effect right now. And I believe that might have been upgraded to a warning, and it has. Let's see, winter weather advisory, winter weather advisory. I'm not seeing the warning there, but let me click on this and we're going to scroll back in there. Yes, it is a warning right now. So we're going to click on that again. And you can see generally above 3,500 feet are where the biggest precipitation amounts are expected to occur from 4 a.m. Monday to 10 a.m. Tuesday. Look at these visibilities below quarter mile, falling and blowing snow. That's basically starting to get into blizzard conditions for some areas. Again, mainly across the higher terrain. This is not a lower elevation snow event. In fact, Snoqualmie Pass may get into some of the snowy action here, but Stevens Pass much more likely since it is at 4,000 feet. Now look at some of these winds. Look at Whidbey Island gusting into the mid-50s. Some of the ensembles still do show higher, and the models are kind of flipping and flopping back and forth between mid-50s and maybe up towards 60 or even low 60s here. So we'll see how that trends today, and I may update that on Blue Sky as we go. Astoria, kind of on the southerly end of some of those gusty winds, 44 miles per hour. Some of the ensembles do have a little bit higher. Tillamook, you're still gusty here, but not as gusty as what's going to happen here for the Washington coast. And if we take a look up towards Hoquiam, check that out, 54 in the latest European control, and some pretty good ensemble agreement with that. This is Seattle, Tacoma, 45. Even some of the ensembles have something up over 50, so that would get your attention and could cause nuisance power outages across some of the Puget Sound. Olympia, look at that, 50 miles per hour on the control run. That'll definitely get your attention as well. Bellingham, some gusts up into the 50s are possible. Some of the ensembles say even stronger. And look at that ensemble mean squarely up into the 50s. So watch out for some of these strong winds. Now, looking at the 10-meter wind gust here, just to cover the other areas as well. Look at the east slopes of the Cascades. Big winds incoming, and that is going to start very late Monday morning on into early Monday afternoon. The big westerly surge here, higher terrain, Washington coast, and some gusty winds for the Oregon coast, and even for the Cascades of Oregon here as well, northern Cascades. Some gusty winds will be rolling through here as we go. Now, I want to show the wave heights as well. We're getting a little bit of a bump today. So if you're out there today, you are getting that wave bump action through this afternoon. You can see some of these bigger waves clearly making their way towards the coastline as we go through tonight. Tiny bit of a break, but then this next storm system is right on its heels, and you can see that stronger area of waves slamming into the coast as we go through the day Monday. And we're going to have big wave action down some of the Strait of Juan de Fuca as well with the westerly surge. So heads up for that. Now, if we take a look at the ensemble mean precipitation, again, strong and fast-moving frontal system, pretty good rain shadowing going on. You see not much precipitation east of the mountains compared to the Cascades. It's going to get wrung out there. And there will be some rain shadowing across some of the central sound, but we are scheduled to get, maybe up 3/4 of an inch for Seattle, but definitely bigger amounts across the higher terrain, the Olympic Mountains, coastal range as well. And total snow, we got that winter storm warning, winter weather advisories. You'll see as we go through Monday morning. Boom, right there. You can see that snow starting to pile up across the North Cascades. Stevens Pass, maybe getting an inch or two here for Snoqualmie. I wouldn't rule that out. Be prepared for winter driving conditions here. I-90 Monday morning in case that snow level does drop down and include Snoqualmie Pass. And then you'll see we'll scroll off in towards Tuesday morning. We'll be wrapping up that round of precipitation. Then starting to look off into the future, which we're going to do right now with the European Artificial Intelligence. So here we go with that ridge of high pressure. We could see that in the infrared satellite imagery. The developing mid-latitude cyclone is right here. It's going to blast through here as we go through the day Monday. And we do get a couple of days off. It looks like we're going to relax the gradient. You can see this ridge reaching up over the Pacific Northwest, but then you can see during November, it doesn't typically hang on for too long, and you can see this Gulf of Alaska starting to bring some precipitation as we go on into the end of the week there. We'll see how that trends, but then you see additional troughing roll through next weekend, and look at this deep trough off through hour 198 here, right on the Pacific Northwest. That would be pretty interesting here as well. So we'll see how that develops in future model runs, get some consistency and some model agreement on that before we go into too much detail. Here's the 6 to 10 day, kind of a mixed bag here across Pacific Northwest. You can take that with a grain of salt, just like to show you what the Climate Prediction Center is showing. But they still have this above average as we go through that time frame, you know, the troughing showing up in some of the models. So that's why they have that. And channel's doing great. Check it out. We are on our way to 74,000 subscribers. We picked up almost 2,000 here in the last 28 days. I'm very curious to see if YouTube is still giving out those plaques once you hit 100,000 with a channel name on it and whatnot. I'll have to station it behind me and somehow display that, because that would be both my and all my subscribers, everybody, all you guys make this channel possible, especially my people who have clicked that join button down below and, you know, give your hard-earned money to help support this channel and make this all possible. It's been fun. Hope it continues off into the future. What else? So we will break this all down again tomorrow. I may be out chasing tomorrow as well. Good chance I will be, and I'll be live streaming. I have an entirely new anemometer setup, so you should be able to watch the wind gusts with me on the live stream. So that should be fun. I've got a whole new setup. So yeah, I'll be doing that tomorrow most likely. So there is a chance I might not do the initial morning briefing and then go live during the day. So anyway, just check back and see where we're at then. But otherwise, hope you guys are having a good day. We'll do this all again tomorrow. Now we'll talk to you guys then.